Alright, start biting in a bowl 60 grams of room temperature butter, 75 grams of sugar, but I'm using 50 grams of erythritol as a substitute. Then 25 grams of brown sugar. It tends to clump up, so make sure to break it up as you add it. This makes it easier to cream the butter. And for the remaining 25 grams of sugar, add half a teaspoon of sodium cyclamate. Now, using a hand mixer, we're going to cream the butter. Start mixing on low and keep at it until nice and smooth. Set that aside and let's move to the dry ingredients. I'm adding them in a hand sifter to make sure there's no clumps. You can use a sieve or just a whisk to break it up a bit. Add 145 grams or 1 cup of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice mix, which is made out of 3 parts cinnamon, 1 part each of ground nutmeg, cloves, and ginger powder. Now sift it, which I should mention is one of my favorite things to do. I could just sift stuff all day. Now going back to our butter mixture, let's add the persimmon puree. That you can make by placing in a blender the flesh of 1 persimmon, the juice of a small mandarin, and 2 tablespoons of water. Then let it sit in the fridge overnight. So add 150 grams or about half a cup of it. Then half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 egg. Then mix them all together until well combined. Now, while running the mixer, add a bit of the dry ingredients mixture. Let it get combined and then add again. Keep doing this until all the flour has been added. But don't overmix it. Stop right after adding the last part and switch to a spatula. Once it's all incorporated, add 30 grams or a third of a cup of toasted walnuts and 30 grams or a quarter cup of dried cranberries. Mix them in the batter and then cover it with plastic wrap. This dough needs to chill in the fridge for 1 hour, but if you want your cookies to spread less and be taller, you can chill it for 2 hours. Once chilled, prepare a pan with a silicone mat or baking paper, and for dividing the dough I'm using a spoon, so it takes a bit of eyeballing to split it into equal sized balls. We're aiming for 12 cookies, so try your best to split it equally. But don't stress too much, you can redistribute until you're happy with it. For dough that has been chilled for 1 hour, they will just about double in size, so make sure you account for them spreading when you're placing them in the pan. Add them to a preheated oven at 165 degrees Celsius or 325 Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, or until they're golden brown on the outside and nice and soft on the inside. It's up to you, just don't burn them. Now out of the oven they come, place them on a cooling rack to cool off. Look at these beauties. They turned out soft and chewy on the inside, yet crispy on the outside.